Hi, I'm Dr. Sana Hashmi. I'm a fellow at the Taiwan Asia Exchange Foundation. And welcome to my Prince Ion China column. And this week, I focused on the recently concluded 15th China International Aviation and Aerospace exhibition that is popularly known as Zhuhai Airshow. And this is a biennial event which is held in Guangdong province. And this event actually serves as a window into China's growing military and technological aspirations. It is showing what technological advancements it has achieved in the field of defense as well as aerospace domains. So, what was so special about this year's air show? The Zhuhai Airshow was not really merely a platform for aerospace enthusiasts, but it was also a platform where China broadcasted its progress in defense and innovation. And specifically, if you look at what is happening at the global level, two wars are going on. China is being seen as an aggressor as well as the continuation in US-China rivalry. This actually makes more sense for China to kind of showcase what it has achieved till now, and this is primarily to showcase that China is actually taking a leap in areas where other countries need to really look at China. So, this year's event was actually a grand affair. It showcased advancements in the People's Liberation Army capabilities, as well as it highlighted Beijing's ambitions in global aerospace and defense market. So in my Eye on China column, I usually kind of look into the discourse that is happening in China and about this air show. I also looked into how this was discussed and what was being reported within the Chinese media and the social media platforms. So, as I already mentioned, that this was a different platform. This was something that was being looked at, watched by a lot of China watchers around the world. But if you look at what Chinese platforms were saying about it, and the CCTV, China state-run broadcaster, it actually hailed the air show as a comprehensive, complementary, a major successful event. And it noted its unprecedented integration of land, sea, and aerial demonstrations. And in fact, the traffic to the air show also increased by a certain number of visitors. At the 15th air show, there were almost 600,000 visitors attended and millions watching online. And this event stirred a lot of feelings among the Chinese audience, among the Chinese people who were visiting the air show. There was a sense of national pride, which also reaffirmed the confidence in the PLA's growing strength. And this actually shows that there is a lot of perhaps confidence among people that if there is a war that breaks out that has China in it, China will be able to compete and, in fact, will be able to kind of achieve victory with respect to its capabilities and how other countries need to be fearful of China's growing capabilities and strength. So now also look at the statistics. And what I've noticed is that the statistics were also impressive. In terms of companies, there were over 1,000 companies from 47 countries that participated in Zhuhai Airshow. And if you look at specifically what has happened in the past 3-4 years, how we have talked about de-risking, how we have talked about decouplings, but I feel these numbers actually, these figures actually tell us that there is hardly any decoupling, de-risking happening. A lot of companies, a lot of countries were actually interested in what was China doing, and there was also this sense of willingness to engage China in number of domains, including defense as well as technological domains. Then, apart from that, there were 261 aircraft and 248 ground equipment systems that were being displayed at the air show. Then, now, if we talk about the contracts that were signed and the negotiations that happened during the air show, as per official figures that came out of China, around 285 billion yuan worth contracts were signed with Chinese companies, and over 250 activities, including forums, business meetings, events, were held on the sidelines of the air show. So, if we just analyze these figures, these numbers reflect not only China's ability to organize large scale events, and specifically when we talk about integration of civil as well as military events. So, this actually kind of tells us that it is just not about China's ability to organize successful events, but it is also about China's growing clout as a leader in the aerospace technology. So, this is something that perhaps this air show kind of tried to demonstrate as well. So the military displays were, of course, the centerpiece of the show. There is always a dual purpose with respect to such a show, specifically when it comes to China. And among the most notable unveilings was the J-35A. That is a new generation stealth fighter that is designed for medium range operations. Then, what is so peculiar about this is that it complements the J-20, that is China's long range fifth generation fighter. And together, J-35A and J-20, they complement the uh, perhaps they represent the PLA's increasing focus on system level warfare. So these advanced fighters are integrated with intelligence assets like satellites, drones, and early warning systems, and that thereby demonstrating a comprehensive approach to modern combat. So, as I already mentioned, that this is just not about China's advancements in technological sphere. This is also about showcasing what China will be able to achieve if there is a war which involves China, and particularly in the South China Sea, in the Taiwan Strait, and that might perhaps involve the US as well. That apart from that, J-10CE frequently compared to the US F-16. In fact, a lot of commentaries have actually called it a copy of US F-16. It showcased its multi-role capabilities, including over-the-horizon targeting and an extended combat radius. Then, if we come to the naval front, the introduction and the much talked about the killer whale, an unmanned surface combat vessel with a 4,000 nautical mile range, signaled advancement in autonomous naval warfare. So this was also one of the most talked about, one of the most discussed unveiling during the air show. Then apart from that, the Hongqi 19 missile system, Chada UAV helicopters such as the Z-10, Z-20, they all highlighted China's progress in multi-domain operations. Now, apart from that, there also was a focus on space and dual-use technology. The air show also emphasized Beijing's civil-military integration strategy, which blends into defense and civil innovation. For the very first time, lunar soil samples retrieved by Chang'e 6 mission were also displayed to domestic audiences. Then a range of futuristic technologies such as modular flying car, long endurance drone, a hybrid UAVs capable of vertical takeoff. This all showcased the dual use of potential of aerospace systems. So these innovations underscore China's ambition to perhaps lead in an unmanned system, both for military application as well as civilian use. And that also enhances its reputation as a global hub for cutting edge technology. Of course, this has also been one of the major objectives of air shows, of demonstration of its aerospace powers as well as military might. So now this air show was not benign. This also, of course, had a strategic significance, and this has implications for global rivalry. Now, of course, as we are kind of leading towards Donald Trump 2 administration, second administration, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, unpredictability, and there is hardly any doubt that the US-China competition, US-China rivalry is going to continue, it's going to persist. Of course, the nature of such rivalry, we have to see how it is going to be, but there's no doubt that we are going to see a lot of fireworks when it comes to China and the US. Then, if I link that with this current Zhuhai Airshow, I would say that the broader implication of this airshow cannot be really ignored. China's focus on indigenous technology and the self-sufficiency made in China effort, it reflects China's determination to achieve self-sufficiency in defense. And it's also a way to reduce reliance on imports. And we know that there have been restrictions with respect to technology transfer from the US to China. So in a way, I would say that it is proving to be a blessing in disguise for China. Now it is actually moving towards more self-reliance, more self-sufficiency. And in fact, if we look at what has been unveiled during this Zhuhai Air Show, and if we look at what has been talked about, it would actually tell us that the focus is on reducing reliance on foreign countries, Western countries, foreign powers that actually are kind of trying to deter China, that are actually trying to contain China's rise. The idea is to perhaps forge cooperation with countries that are on Chinese side, and as well as just prepare for any eventuality on its own. That this is something that China has been doing, and this is particularly relevant I've already mentioned that the US-China tensions are going to persist, and now Beijing is seeking to position itself as a formidable global competitor. So it is just not about responding to the eventuality, responding to the problems that are emerging out of US-China rivalry, but it is also about reducing US influence, US power, and it's also about presenting China as a global competitor, as a superior power than the US. Then, by unveiling systems like stealth drones, advanced fighters, modular technologies, China is not only addressing its domestic needs, but also targeting international defense markets. It also wants to be a leading name and perhaps the most superior name in the defense market. Then the PLA modernization goal for 2027, which is actually not far from now, it's 2025 almost. So these goals are within sight. And the air show reinforced its message that China is emerging as a global leader in aerospace innovation and defense technology. Then the 15th air show was not just a spectacle, it was also a strategic statement. It underscored China's growing capabilities in the aerospace sector. Then it also showcased its broader ambitions to reshape global defense norms. And as the US China rivalry continues to shape the international order, events like these provide insights into Beijing long term strategy. And I think this is one of the reasons why it was very important to highlight what all happened at the air show and what are the broader strategic implications of what was being displayed at the air show. So this concludes my this week's edition of Eye on China. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you next week.